what is interesting about this city and about this town is there are numerous, as you can see, resources for entrepreneurs, for people to start and grow businesses. But there might be some overlap in these organizations. So the Venn diagram might be undefined at the moment for most of us, but we're going to define it today. So when you leave here today and you have an idea or you have a business, you should be able to understand what these guys can do for you. So we have 5 support organizations: Venture Asheville, Black Wall Street, Mountain BizWorks, Hatch Innovation Hub, and Score ABL. Then we have 2 entrepreneurs, or 3, 2 startups, both in the beverage and beverage holding space, who've had monster years, and they've either gotten support from 1 Million Cups or some of these folks on the panel today. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down the list, and we have 3 mics, and we actually have 2 mics and 3 microphones. We're going to start with 2 mics down here. Give us like 2 minutes and just let us know off the top what Score ABL does.
All right, how's this work?
Great.
Good. I get to start. Now let me think what to say. Okay, seriously, Score is a national organization of mentors to small business. It, like a lot of these groups, is organized by the Small Business Administration. Somewhat different, however, Score has a small national office in Virginia of about 30 people, and the vast majority of Score are volunteer mentors. By the way, organized in chapters throughout the country. Asheville is the oldest continually operating chapter in the country. Wow. Another Asheville fact. So we do a few things. Most of what Score does is one-on-one mentoring. I'll say a bit more about that in a minute. Because the other 2 things we do is we run workshops, usually about 2 a month in the spring and the fall. And we also form business advisory teams for larger companies where 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 mentors help one larger business, but still small. And that's usually more focused. Now, the main thing we do is one-on-one mentoring. The mentoring is always free. It's completely confidential. So what do we mean by mentoring? That's a discussion we have internally sometimes, right? So it's not consulting. Score doesn't do the work. It ventures a little into coaching sometimes, right? Helping people work through the work. But mostly it's helping people with the experience, with some context, with pointers to people that can help them do the work. Right? So the Score special sauce, as it were, is the experience of mentors. Score mentors are typically late career or retired. They've been senior executives or run multiple businesses, and so they bring that experience. Right? The other thing we have going for us is we are all volunteer, and that gives us a lot more operational flexibility to help people as we think best, right? In keeping with our mission and ethical standards. As I said, it's all confidential. So there, I'll keep it just short of 2 minutes.
Thanks, Mike. And we're going to pass it over to another Mike here with Hatch Foundation.
Good morning, everybody. This is amazing, by the way, to look and see this crowd from what's been going on this year. So welcome, and looking forward to 2023 together. Fantastic. So Hatch Innovation Hub, which actually changed the name just recently because our vision is to be what we call the home for entrepreneurship in Western North Carolina. And not just one organization, but really the sort of a meeting place, figuratively and literally, for all the different services that you were talking about earlier, and helping explore that overlap so that we're building together a really strong ecosystem in this part of the country. And as you guys know, we're disadvantaged in a lot of ways. If you step away from Asheville, it's a different world out there, and our goal is to make sure that all of Western North Carolina is impacted by solid job creation, clean technology, and really living beyond living wages, if we can say that. I think the main services we offer, we talk about people, places, and things, programs and things, that too, but that's a different topic. One, mentoring is the people piece, right? And like Score and others, mentoring is the heart, soul of what we do. If you've started a business or you're starting a business, you understand what you're dealing with, right? You want somebody to talk to, somebody maybe that's been there, done that, maybe somebody who's just sympathetic, but to walk the journey with you. That's the people piece. Number two is the place, which you are enjoying together this morning. This, you see the expansion. Hopefully you'll get a chance to do a quick tour before you get out of here. The goal for this place and maybe others in the region is to be a vibrant community of what George likes to call happy collisions. Entrepreneurs bumping into each other and helping each other solve their problems. And then the third is programming, which is educational programming. Probably our flagship is called the pressure test, where we take a small startup and we are able to say, where are the leaks, where are the risks, where are the challenges, where are the gaps, and hook you up with mentors that can then turn around and help you solve that in a 90-day sprint. And several of our mentors are here in the room, so get a chance to meet some of them. Jay Mixter for one. Welcome, Jay.
Awesome, thank you, Mike. We're going to pass it to Becca with Mountain Biz Works.
Good morning, happy holidays. It's fun to see kind of the festive energy in the room. Mountain Biz Works is a nonprofit organization, a CDFI, a community development finance institution, and our work is really centered around two things, learning and lending. So on the lending side, we offer opportunities for access to capital for entrepreneurs that might not traditionally have access. As many of you entrepreneurs know, sometimes friends and family funding isn't available, or you may not have generational wealth to rely on, but you have an awesome business plan and you're ready to go. So I'm really proud of our lending portfolio. We're about to close $10.7 million in loans this year. And thank you. We're so excited. That's more lending than we've ever done as a team. And while I'm proud of that number, what I'm actually most proud of with that is the entrepreneurs that represents and their hard work. And I think being able to operate with patient capital that not just looks at collateral, but relationships, business plans, hopes and dreams, what people want to do. So that's our lending side. And then on our learning side, we really aim to provide wraparound services for folks who are looking to get loan ready or already have loans. We do everything from our foundations course, which is a 6-week class around what is a business plan? What's my niche market? Am I going to be able to grow to be sustainable? All the way through growing your business, and then we recently launched our market advisors, which is essentially business sales, acquisitions, and we just completed our first sale in 2023. We do have some live offerings up on our website, which is pretty fun if anyone's interested in that. And then on the learning side, most importantly, we offer support through coaching and relationships. We have some cohort models, some graduates of our cohorts in the room, and we're about to launch in 2023 our first Catalyst cohort fully in Spanish. So our team is really looking forward to taking that model and bringing it over to our Spanish language community. So thank you to all who are participating in our services. We love being part of the community, and we do serve 26 counties in the region. So love to talk to you and share more.
Gracias, Becca. And we're going to pass it over to Bruce from Black Wall Street ABL.
Hey family, how y'all doing? Everybody good? In other words, we say, are you Gucci? Which means are you good, right?
So Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci, right? So I'm Bruce, I'm an executive director for Black Wall Street, and I'm one of the founding board members with my business partner who you might know, might not know, Jay Hackett. And we're actually a fairly new organization, but how does Black Wall Street ABL shows up in the ecosystem here? The one thing that we do really, really well at the visceral level is getting dollars into cash registers for BIPOC businesses. When it comes down to the end of the day, we lean on partners, the partners here at this table, to talk about sustainability, talking about, what is your niche and the academia around it and the infrastructure. But the part we do really well is at getting dollars into cash registers and building community for BIPOC businesses. So our organization, we really live by the slogan of honoring history and building wealth together, which literally means that we want to help people understand what has already been here in Asheville before any of us got here, the history of the rich black businesses that were in Asheville that have been totally wiped out, totally ignored, totally revised. And we're here to revitalize that by partnering with people with power, resources, and space, and we create those doors. And so we're really excited, some of our partners in the room and also our members. Shout out to Tyler, he is one of our Black Wall Street Junior leading ambassadors for our junior program. Shout out to Leroy, he did the 1 million cups last week. Yeah, so we're a family. And so that's what we do really well, and we connect with brothers and sisters in the area to really help take businesses to the next level. And that's just the heart of what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Crown Prince of Capitalism himself, Jeffrey Kaplan, Venture Asheville.
I wanted to sit next to my buddy Bruce, but I hate following you. So Venture Asheville, the mouthful is we are the high-growth entrepreneurship initiative of the Economic Development Coalition for Asheville-Buncombe County, a program of the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. Most people just call us Venture Asheville. We build entrepreneurs and get startups funded through 3 core initiatives: mentorship, financing, and events. In mentorship, our flagship program is called Elevate. It is based on the MIT Venture Mentoring System. It is a long-term relationship a founder builds with a team of mentors. On average, companies are in for like 2 years now, which at starting a business, you think being a partner for 2 years sounds crazy. But it really works. I see some current and former elevators here, some in the room as well. The quick stats on that is that program has created 352 high-paying jobs in the Asheville area. Those companies have earned $92 million in revenue and raised $47 million in investment. And if we do this again in January, I give you updated stats. We get those every quarter. I can't tell how much it kills me to say 92 million and 47 instead of 150.
Round it up, nobody's counting.
I know, but I can't do that. I want to earn it. I just want to say that the foundational beliefs of Venture Asheville, limited development, entrepreneurs, and build capacity in the ecosystem are rooted, 1, in academia, and 2, in Stoic philosophy and Stoicism. So we believe that when passion-driven people are able to create value through entrepreneurship, through a service or product that people want to buy, that going on that entrepreneurial journey leads people towards more self-actualization and higher up on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And they become more realized people. And the teams they build tend to be really high-functioning, very rewarding teams. So it's not just about building up an individual and helping an individual create wealth, but it really is about uplifting entire communities. And when you see those companies do well, and those employees doing well, and they benefit from the growth of the company, it lifts up entire communities. And we're really excited to continue this work. We're all really passionate folks. The team is me and Desiree Monstrola, the you know Desiree. We have about 1/3 of the time, the other 2/3 of the time spent at the chamber. And we have about 50 or so mentors and lots and lots of partnerships. I see a lot of mentors and friends and partners in the room that help us do the work we do. And it really is an honor to serve in this role in this community where everyone is crazy passionate and really creative and really smart and very fun. And Harris, did you give me the wrap up?
You have 2 minutes.
No, I do. It's 2 minutes. Okay, I'm done.
All right, we're going to move from the support organizations to some startups, some entrepreneurs. So first up is Sarah with Cerility. I actually just saw Cerility in an Ingalls when I was walking with my son. So tell us a little bit about Cerility. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Delaney, the founder of Cirilla. This is our newest flavor. It's a rooibos vanilla. It's our first decaf. We have 6 flavors now currently, and I've been in Asheville for 15 years, a little more. I left for a couple years to move to Rwanda, spent some time in East Africa. I'm excited to see Tom in the audience, who's part of Rotary Asheville, and we're working with them on a water project in Rwanda. But I went through the Elevate program. It was amazing. I won the micro grant in the beginning of that program, which was $5,000. And today, I don't know how far that could get me based on where I am in my business now. But at the time, it was huge. I mean, that actually helped us purchase our first pallet of aluminum cans, and that pallet actually went into the Fresh Market, which was our first grocery chain, and that was 6 months before the pandemic. So we had about 6 months to really, be successful in grocery, and then things shut down, and we did the pivot like everyone. And now we're kind of coming back to our roots, food service, bars, breweries, getting Cirilla back on tap. But it's amazing to be part of this network. I feel really supported. I'm really involved in the women's entrepreneurship founder programs here. We also have been blessed with a loan from Mountain BizWorks, hope to do more with them. And also I've spoken at 1 Million Cups, which helped me meet my first angel investor here. So we do have angel investors here in Asheville, currently doing a seed round. So thank you all for your support, for purchasing Cirilla, and there's a free VIP can in your mug in the back as well. Thanks.
All right, and we're going to move to Brondage and Danielle with Perani.
Hi everybody, my name is Brondage.
And I'm Danielle.
And we're the founders of Perani.
So a lot of you are using our cups here in the room, which they're yours to keep. We founded Perani Life in 2018. We were living in South Florida, 1 block from the ocean, and Brondage designed at the time what was meant to be a vacuum-insulated red solo cup to help reduce all the single-use plastic that we were seeing on the beaches. And so that is the red cups are the original cup that we designed. The first 2 years of our business, we started on Kickstarter. We had no idea what we were doing. And in 2020, we moved to Asheville. After we moved to Asheville, we started doing trade shows. And how we got involved in 1 Million Cups is one day, last 2021, we were in UPS, and we were shipping out a package, I believe to Sublime. We do lots of co-branding. And the founder of Ginger's Revenge was there, and she told us, hey, have you ever heard of 1 Million Cups? And we were like, no, and she's like, well, you have to go do that. So we went and we did 1 Million Cups. Well, we met Erica and Sean, and Erica and Sean were amazing advocates for us and really launched us in the community, believed in us to be the launch of 1 Million Cups after only knowing us for maybe 2 weeks. And that really just opened so many doors and put us into a community that we didn't even know existed. So we were a garage business up until that point, and we worked together, and that was all we saw and all we knew. And so it has really empowered us. Jeff Kaplan believed in us from that day and put us in the Venture Asheville program, and that has also opened a lot of more doors for us. And I'm going to let Brondage speak now.
She covered most things, but what has been really helpful for us, I'll be really quick, is when we first moved to Asheville, we didn't have a community, we didn't really know anybody, and it was probably not difficult because the resources weren't there, but it was difficult because we were so entrenched in our business, we didn't really have time, we didn't really look for anything, and so as soon as we joined and participated in 1 Million Cups, everything was just handed to us on a silver platter at that point, and it really was just helpful to get into the community, meet people, join the programs that we're in, and yeah, really, really grateful for all of that.
Awesome. Have you guys forecasted out when you will sell your 1 millionth cup? Just a thought. Maybe come back. Okay. Next year. That'd be good. All right, here's what we're going to do. We want to dig a little bit more into these guys. I have some scenarios, some business scenarios. And I want a hand raised, and then we'll pick someone to speak if your organization can help me with these scenarios. And then we'll open it up, and I'm sure everyone here has a ton of scenarios, more creative than I do. And we'll just jump through these. So first, I have an idea, but I have very little business experience. Who can help me get started? How do I validate that idea? We got Becca and Mike. We're going to go with Becca. How can Mountain BizWorks help me validate an idea?
Yeah, the foundations course that I mentioned. So it's a 6-week, really intensive. Each week has a different focus. Building your business plan, marketing. Is there a market for my product? How would I grow it? What do I need to do to make it sustainable? I think the best part, though, is the peer feedback. So other people in your class giving real-time reflections, kind of like a 1 Million Cups on steroids on, is this business plan going to work?
Awesome.
So we really specialize people at ideation phase, so they don't know exactly what they want to do. And a lot of those, you have 3 different types of people, but the one that is still trying to figure it out, you talk about partnership, that's the first place they go through us, because we do master classes every Monday. So on those master classes, based on the needs of cohort members, we construct those on Mondays. But in addition to, we support, we take care of LLC costs. So we actually get them the formation, we get them a business address, we do all those pieces, and then say, hey, for your next step, you need to do this. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to send them right to the foundation. That's how it goes. Yeah.
Are you guys grant funded? So on the backside, you're taking care of those business costs.
Yes.
Is that from a grant?
Yes, grants, and also there is a one-time cost per year of $150 from each cohort member. In that, it automatically goes back to them to take care of the LLC costs, because that's $127.50. I think I paid it a lot of times. Yeah. And then they also have that box of, we actually at Grind, our coffee shop, we have, it's a commercial space. And so a lot of the times the issue that people do is they put their business, their home address.
Yeah.
And that hard for funding and different things that people like Jeff look at like, oh, might need to rethink this, right? So that's what we do, and we partner with people that can take them a little bit deeper and through an established course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Mike?
I'd say probably a solid half the people that contact SCORE are at that stage. They have an idea, but they've never run a business. And some of the others call having a question, like about marketing or their web page, and they're actually still haven't figured out their value proposition. And when I say mentoring, that's another thing, is we talk to the people, right? We talk to you, it's a dialogue to get a whole idea of where you're at. And a lot of times the mentoring is about finding out where you really need to focus. Right? And we do a similar thing, right? At a certain point, you've got your idea together, and maybe you need somebody to do the work, or you're ready to go talk about funding, and then we encourage people. So I do want to do a quick shout out. I know I'm taking time, but speaking of that, 2 groups that aren't here that are SBA funded are the Small Business Development Center out of AB Tech. We partner with them, and we do a lot of work with them. They provide mentoring, and they also have some other services. They have that beverage center out there, if you're into that space. And then Western Women's Business Center. Yeah. Also is a SCORE is not a grant organization, so places like Mountain BizWorks and Western Women's Business Center places we want people to.
Cool. Thanks so much. All right, this is another scenario. This is dear to my heart. This is something that a friend of mine in a different state is going through right now. I started a dryer vent cleaning business this year. Tax season is coming, and I am not prepared. It's my first business. I don't know what I'm doing. Who can offer me tax advice or connect me with the right people to understand what my tax obligations are? Jeff Howard.
Typically, you should get tax advice from a CPA, not anybody else. I can give you legal advice, like an LSAT, that's as far as I got, you know? So, find a trustworthy CPA. One place to do that is look at our websites and look at the mentors on those sites and see who has an LLM or CPA background. Another one to do, I have to plug the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. There is a directory there where you can find all the CPAs in town. And ask friends, or even, it might sound odd, but asking businesses similar to yours who they use for vendors. This is like the co-opetition kind of thing, because those professional services will be more familiar with your space and can serve you better than trying to go with somebody who's just, not in the area or not your industry. You want to get those efficiencies of their expertise.
Great. Mike?
Sure. So I mentioned we offer classes. Most of those are taught by SCORE mentors, but a few are taught by community service providers, and we're happy to provide that forum. If people will teach an honest class, not a pitch, then we're happy to have them get more exposure. One of those classes is taught by a local accounting firm, and I asked them to teach a class on when do you hire a bookkeeper versus an accountant versus CPA. My short firm is most companies should hire a bookkeeper about a year before they do. So if you're in tax season and you're asking that question, it's time to get in the calendar.
Becca?
Yeah, I feel sympathetic to your friend. I found myself in that scenario at one point as well. Once you get through that messy time and get what you need lined up for the tax year that you're kind of freaking out about, we do offer a financial tools and intro to cookbooks course. So I think it's really empowering. I think you're right. People do need to get their bookkeeper before they realize it. But once you get through that time, I think a financial tools course is really helpful to empower yourself with understanding of your books, be able to set your goals better, and really look at what your finances are doing within your company. So I always encourage people to take that empowerment for themselves and really get a deeper understanding for their business plan.
Great.
Can I do a quick follow-up on that?
Yeah, follow up.
I think it's an important point. You can delegate your bookkeeping, but you can't take away that accountability and understand your own finances. So you can probably make better use of your time focusing on your business instead of your bookkeeping, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't understand your finances and take a class so you know what your bookkeeper's doing.
Fair.
I'll just make mine real brief. I'm with Jeff, CPA, right? So the cool thing about Black Wall Street, we really rely on partnerships. We actually, and I'm shouting out a name, keep her in prayer. Carol King and her firm did pro bono for a year for all Black Wall Street members. So that's huge, right? So most definitely our partnerships, those who actually have expertise in that, they came on and did classes, but also saying, hey, after the class, I'm about the action part. Can we bring them into your firm? And so any of the people who are CPAs, we bring our cohort members through that to take advantage of that opportunity and resource. Totally pro bono, and is a benefit and support to the business, but also to the cohort member. So that's how we do it.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, I'm actually in the process of changing CPAs, but I agree it's so important as founders that we understand all the numbers. And I think it's really important to work with a bookkeeper and CPA who understands. For me, being in CPG, like we have nuances that other industries don't have. We have, distributors, grocery deductions. It's just, but I need to sit down with someone who gets it, and we work through chart of accounts. And then I turn over the books to CPA at the end of the year or every 6 months. But I definitely agree on taking the classes and getting paired with mentors who have a varied range of skill sets. So when I started working in the Elevate program, we had 4 mentors. I met with them monthly, and then we had emails in between. And I don't think my original mentors necessarily were in beverage, but they were so helpful in just like laying the foundation of all these things and making sure we had the right accountant, making sure we had the right legal support, the right business structure. And then I had, they almost acted like almost like my board. So I would report to them monthly. I would put my financial reports together. And that helped me be accountable to someone else in the very beginning because I'm a solo entrepreneur. So thanks for that opportunity again.
All right, I'm going to do one more, and then we can open it up to group Q&A here. I own a business with around $500,000, $500K in annual revenue. I'd like to grow that to $5 million in the next couple of years. Looking for more of an accelerator type program. Who can help me with this? Mike.
No, I'd like to work for that company.
We aren't hiring.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of this group up here and the community we represent is that from idea to scale, there's something for you. And that's why we're all working so hard at working together. But for us at Hatch, one of the things we do is either take a business that's early in revenue, help them figure out what's blocking them to get to the next stage. Or, as we often get a group coming through, they're saying, look, we're just stuck. We don't know how to get to that, 5 million level. We're at 500,000, we're fine, but we want to grow. And so that's what our pitch party concept is, and more importantly, our pressure test concept is get you tied up with mentors who know what they're talking about, help you figure out what it is actually that's sticking you versus what you think it may be. And that's the beauty of an outside perspective. You know, you see what you see, and we always like to say, we'll help you see what you don't see. And then work together with an experienced mentor for about 3 months to break that log jam and move to the next level. And I know we work very closely with Jeff over at Venture Asheville, because once you get a little further along past that, I'll let you answer the rest of the question. So that's a softball for you.
Yeah, and Mike, I think that's a great layup, that the pressure test or 90-day experiment to figure out what is the obstacle to unlock all the scalability in your venture. And once you identify that, whether it's through intellectual property or strategic advantage or the business structure, whatever you have to do to align it, and Elevate, you come to us for 1 and 2 years, and it's about the accountability and helping you see it through all the way. And we actually, between Hatch and Venture Asheville, have a binding contract that we purposely move entrepreneurs between our 2 programs when it's the right fit at the right time. And I think it's been working pretty well for the last 2 years, and hope for many, many more.
Time for one more? Yeah. Part of our learning trail map is our scale-up course, and we just completed our 11th cohort with that course. It's a year-long, again, accountability, peer-based, bringing experts in and how to scale your business. And then it culminates in our Mountain Raise event, where entrepreneurs actually have a chance to pitch to investors and to community members. And I think that year-long focus on what are you scaling, how are you thinking about growing your business really gets you ready to take that next step. I love knowing, though, that there are different versions of that, because I don't think there's a one-size-fit-all. I think each business has different needs, and I think it's really cool to think about the ways that these organizations can grow our community together.
If I might speak on behalf of Scale Up, like, you guys have a curriculum,
We do.
right? Elevate does not. So when you come to Elevate, it's the founder charts that 12 months of milestones with those mentors, and it's very custom based on the team, who your mentor is, what your company struggles are. So if I think a lot of folks we find a lot of times they need some background before they came to Elevate. So going to Scale Up and getting that curriculum is a really strong backbone for that. But if you are at $500K a year and you've been scaling, maybe you should apply for the Venture 15, which is an annual award. If you've been at 150K minimum and you're growing really fast, nothing better than getting some fantastic PR and awareness for your business. So you should apply for the Venture 15, where you can get a great ranking and some wonderful awards and accolades for leading fast-growing companies in the region. And that's tomorrow night.
What time? What
At
location?
6:30 at the Orange Field. If you don't have a ticket, I can't get you in. We are oversold.
Oh, yeah.
So, today, don't remember advertising. All right, Brendan.
I was just going to mention that when we first started this, we were very unaware that we needed capital, because we thought we could grow at the rate that we're growing forever because we're entrepreneurs and nothing's going to stop us. And we quickly learned that that's not accurate. And so one of the things that we've learned through Venture Asheville is we probably need to raise capital, and they really got us in a place where we're ready to and meeting the people and doing the things that we need to. And if it wasn't for that program, we would not be looking for money right now. We would probably be not paying ourselves for much longer than we're going to be. So yeah, just wanted to mention that.
Awesome. All right, can we take from the group here? Questions from the audience? Okay, we're going to start right here.
How would a newer business owner go about selecting the proper, or like a good fit for them? There's obviously really good choices, so how do you meet with new business owners?
In the spirit of the holidays, we ask you to spin a dreidel. And there's a real answer, so I'm sorry.
There's a real no. You know what? And if I may, I can share this. I actually had this conversation at the hub level, as far as the entrepreneurship hub. That's where most of us sit at that table. And one of the things we have been talking to is, what does if it was a map, or if it was an infograph of what door do entrepreneurs go through when they enter into Asheville. So we're actually in the process of creating that. We're in an idea phase right now and brainstorming what that looks like in real time. And who is that person that connects our organizations, like having that cohesiveness between us, and how do we direct, and what's sustainable. And so we're like poking holes at it right now to establish and connect that.
Erica and I had a conversation last night. You guys should have like a UN General Assembly like once a year. Everyone gets together.
We do that every 6 weeks. 5 of us here.
Yeah, no, I think, if
Oh, do you?
I can jump in on that, because what you just said, Bruce, is right, and I would say to you, it's a great question, because we're moving from a desert of resources to an oasis of resources. Where do you go? I think that the truth is what we're trying to build together and through the hub partners, and I know Bruce, you're a big part of that, Jeff and others, we all recognize that we're not in competition. And we can't define the swim lanes so clearly that this need goes there. It's not a one-to-one correlation. But I can guarantee you, if you called anybody represented on this panel, if they felt like there was another member of our community that could help you, they would be very quick to send you there. There won't be any, you're mine. So I think that's the spirit of what we're trying to build together.
We want to build it.
Sarah?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I would suggest setting up interviews with each one. So maybe scheduling meetings with all 4 and having your question, like the same questions ready. And then to decide on a personal level, like what feels like the best fit. And, you know, just go from that, like what are the resources they have for where you're at now, but also thinking ahead, like what are my plans for my business over the next 5 years? What are my goals? Where do I want to see this go? Am I planning on raising or self-funding this? And I think that'll make a big difference on who you work with.
To follow up real quick, is there somebody who should be on this panel that is not?
Western Women's Business Center.
Western Women's Business Center?
For us, OGB, I was wondering if they ever join these things. OGB, Outdoor Gear Builders.
Outdoor gear? Okay, cool. Anybody else?
And of course, Small Business Center.
Cool.
Small Business Development Center.
That's the other
But
one.
yeah, I think Mike said it really well. It's not uncommon for us to pass references between Western Women's or Small Business Center. My general advice is it's not so important that who you talk to, but that you have a mentor or a coach. Starting your own business on your own is just too brutal. Get somebody.
Awesome. We have a question from this side of the room. Anybody? Just trying to spread it out.
Yeah, are there any kinds of businesses, I mean, like, are there any kinds of businesses that are not good to come to you with? I mean, like, what types of businesses work best, what types of businesses don't work best well with your type of coaching and leadership?
Andy, we say no to folks way more than we say yes. We don't really say no to people, but we redirect them. So we're often the front door for a lot of folks. We direct them to, hey, you're at the idea stage. We don't work with idea stage companies. You need to go to a foundations course or a pitch party or something like that, right? Go to 1 million cups. We're very clear about our swim lane, who we'll support, is high growth companies. We define high growth maybe different than other folks. The classic definition of high growth is a temporary business venture in search of a repeatable and scalable business model. We say companies that can double revenue year over year in high growth industries. So we don't work with professional services, and we work with products or SaaS companies, tech companies, but we won't work with companies that have an emphasis on real estate, companies with that are lifestyle or what we call Main Street businesses, but all these partners do, and so that helps us define where we play and how to support fast by focusing.
I'll say for us, Black Wall Street work with BIPOC businesses, and a lot of them that come into the area automatically get connected to us, and then we disseminate as necessary. Some of them have already existing businesses. Some people are moving from different states, and they're coming here and they automatically get connected to us. And that's a pretty cool lane that we play. And so when they get acclimated, the community that we have fostered and created, real strong sense of how we do business with people. So there are partnership opportunities. There are also the master classes, which we bring partners onto those classes. Teach 4-week, 6-week, 8-week classes every Monday, an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're actually in a marketing class right now with one of our members, and they teach each other who have high-level experts and what they do. So that's our lane we play. So when they get connected, BIPOC businesses come to us, and then as they scale throughout the program, we connect as necessary as we have conversations. and they also can see our business listing. There's like a stack of what we offer, and they can click and call. All of our partners are in that list.
So I'm going to answer it 2 ways. One is for the Hatch Foundation is more, we're like Jeff, it's not lifestyle businesses, workout innovation businesses, but it's more, can you get to $1 million more in revenue in 3 years? Can you have 10 employees or more in 3 years? So we're looking for growth companies. But let me change hats for a second, because there's a lot of small Main Street businesses, home-based businesses that could probably do better if they were located here. And so we have an entire business run by Erica and Sean called Hatch Co-working. And so one thing people need is a place to go work. And whether you want a desk for a few hours or you want an office, please look around, because that's the other thing. If you're like me, I started some new business in my basement. I have spider bites all up and down. So I'd like to get here when I can.
Awesome. We have time for one more question. Mike over there.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming today and the wisdom. Appreciate it. Question is, for businesses that are operationalized and kind of have, products or services, what's something that you find that they waste their time on or spin their wheels on that, you can just say, stop doing that?
Good question.
So I was actually going to say something about that in the last question. So when we first started our company, the first 2 years, we knew nothing. Like, we had no idea what we were doing. It was barely a hobby, and we didn't. So in South Florida, I'm sure there are lots of resources, but we didn't tap into any of those. And so as soon as we moved up here, we were already on a growth track, I think, once we got into this program, but we learned that the hard way. And I think we would be significantly further in our journey had we leveraged resources that exist in Asheville sooner. For us specifically, we spent the first 2 years of our business solely focusing on e-commerce. And albeit that's a good path if it makes sense for you, but we should have pivoted much sooner when we realized that wasn't the direction we should learn. And that would have been something, one of our mentors would have been like, hey, you've been cutting the pavement for 6 months and there's no traction, change, or, and so that, yeah.
Mike?
Well, I actually want to make a call out to our entrepreneur panelists. I remember both of your presentations early on. I use some of the lessons you shared when talking to people, as examples about. So I just want to compliment you and call out how much you've contributed to the community, not just by being a small business, but by being transparent and sharing your experiences. Thank you.
How lucky are we, right? That all this stuff is in town.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Erica, you wanna?
I think, I'd like to say, can we give them a huge round of applause? So we have some fun giveaways that are going to happen in just a minute here, but first we have to give another shout out to our sponsors. We've got Bay Point, and if you are here from that organization, raise your hand. SCORE, the Hatch Foundation, Hatchworks, Viscera, Venture Asheville, and Annie with eXp Realty, who shows up every week and helps us with all the organizing. She helps us practice. These are here in the back for you all to take home. They have coffee from Coffee Curious and Emerald Tea and gift certificates from Cirilla. So we just feel so blessed that everyone has come together and